Guess who made the Great Depression worse? Herbert Hoover, the man who walked into the White House in 1929 with one of the strongest U.S. economies in history, and left 4 years later with the country on its knees. When the stock market crashed in October 1929, millions of Americans lost their jobs, homes, and savings. Banks failed overnight, bread lines stretched for blocks. It was the worst economic collapse the country had ever seen. And what did Hoover do? He believed in rugged individualism, the idea that people should pull themselves up without government handouts. Hoover thought the economy would correct itself if left alone. So, no major stimulus, no large-scale relief programs, just speeches filled with optimism and calls for voluntary charity. While Franklin Roosevelt would later flood the economy with the New Deal, Hoover hesitated. He feared government intervention would make Americans dependent. He even opposed direct federal aid to individuals, arguing it would damage self-reliance. Instead, Hoover focused on encouraging businesses to keep wages steady and avoid layoffs, but with profits vanishing, companies ignored him. He created the Reconstruction Finance Corporation to loan money to banks and big businesses, hoping it would trickle down to workers. But it didn't. The help came too late, and too little reached ordinary Americans. Public anger exploded when thousands of World War I veterans, the Bonus Army, marched on Washington in 1932 demanding early payment of promised bonuses. Hoover ordered the U.S. Army to clear them out. The sight of soldiers driving veterans and their families out of makeshift camps with tear gas became a symbol of his presidency's failure. By the time Hoover left office, unemployment was near 25%. People were living in shantytowns nicknamed Hoovervilles, mocking the president they blamed for their misery. Historians still debate whether Hoover could have done more, or whether the crisis was too big for anyone to fix quickly. Supporters argue he took unprecedented steps for a Republican president of the time, and that the Depression's depth was caused by global economic collapse, not just U.S. policy. Critics say his obsession with balanced budgets and fear of big government made the suffering worse. So, was Herbert Hoover unfairly blamed? Or did he let the Great Depression win? Drop your thoughts, and follow Unearthed Truths for more history they didn't teach you.